this is not something we haven't covered multiple times, but it seems that young people have been totally and so utterly corrupted by leftist ideology that they simply are unable to properly form relationships and see each other as actual human beings with needs, desires, and emotions, and form sentimental bonds between one another. And this, I think, is absolutely terrible. I saw this post going around, so I posted it on Getter. Do married people watch Gen Z dating and feel like they caught the last chopper out of Nam? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we absolutely do. Just looking at you guys getting eaten alive by the Viet Cong and thinking, glad that wasn't me. It looks awful. Honestly, and I'm genuinely sympathetic to this. And because
you're the guy in the chopper still firing. You're killing women and children. SJWs, doesn't matter.
But no, like a couple of years ago, I was like, okay, lads, I could see that there's a problem. Young men, having problems. Like I get a lot of young men saying to me, I'm lonely, I'm burnt out, and don't know what I'm doing. It's like, right, okay, this is what you need to be doing. And then and I thought, okay, that was a nice, sensible thing to promote. And I still think it is a nice, sensible thing to promote. And that's what you should be aiming for. But I also got a lot of guys saying, well, hang on a second, have you looked at our prospects? And so I had a look at their prospects and I was like, oh my God. I mean, it literally is like war zone out there.
I still can't get over how unironically people seriously put their pronouns on stuff now. I mean, it's widespread. I mean, it used to be a Tumblrite meme, but now...
But they're only fans on stuff now, mate.
I know.
Like, it's like... I mean, in fact, let's get to the next thing. So we'll talk about this, right? So, beautiful woman. Beautiful. Unbelievably good-looking woman, right? Amanda Summer here, 27, quit her job as a member of the cabin crew for Ryanair last year and turned to OnlyFans. She makes 15 grand a month. Beautiful. Swimming in money. She's raking it in, but she can't get a date. Obviously, yet another OnlyFans woman who can't get a date.
Pay with your soul.
She says dating can be difficult, as people often become upset when they find out what she does for a living. It keeps happening. Guys I get with just keep finding out about her OnlyFans and also get upset that I lied to them about what I do, but if I was upfront with them, they would want nothing to do with me. So it's unbelievably beautiful women have to lie to get dates because of their OnlyFans. So this is a world you live in, man. It's not the world I live in. This has nothing to do with my life.
I should have mentioned. Remember when we did that segment on Tinder and I said that it's all full of whores?
Yeah.
I downloaded Tinder afterwards to make a point to a friend of mine. And I just screenshotted like the first 20 applications I got, and it's ridiculous.
Really? I've never used it.
I'll show you after on my phone. Still with the pictures. It's just like whore, 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 whore. God. Like she's looking for Mr. Right. Is she with her tits out?
Yeah. Yeah, that's literally the opposite way of finding Mr. Right, ladies, just so you know. But the thing is, she says, I'm very frustrated because I just can't seem to hold down a boyfriend at all because of this. I think guys should be more open-minded. It's just not fair. Not fucking fair. It's not fair that you earn 15 grand a month being an online prostitute. That's what's not fair. Like, and you'll sit there going, yeah, well, men should just be more open-minded. Who told you they should be more open-minded? Feminists. That's who. Who are like, no, sex work's real work. There's no difference between that and selling your labor in a factory or something. It's like, oh, there is. There's a massive difference. And that's why you, one of the most beautiful women who's ever existed, can't find a boyfriend.
There's people. Sex work's real work. It's no different to working in a factory. Well, do you want your daughter to work as a prostitute or in a factory?
Well, I'd rather a factory.
Every time.
Obviously.
Like, any time you talk to a feminist, they'll be like, well, in the factory.
Yeah. Because it's not the same. And
her mother wants her daughter to become a prostitute.
Yeah, and so this is the sort of thing that Thomas is talking about in his Why Feminists Won't Talk About OnlyFans. Because essentially, they made this possible. They normalized. You can get to the next one, John. This is one of our new series that we have on lotus.com. It's called Deep Think. This is like 6,000 words, but we do have an audio track. So if you don't want to read it, you can listen to it as an audiobook read by Jonathan Crow's beautiful voice. But this is the point. By normalizing extreme sexuality and sex work like this, feminists have normalized the introduction of OnlyFans into the culture. Right? If this was something that men and women both avoided, then this would not be the problem that it is. But of course, this leads on to various other things, and Thomas argues that this is actively facilitating the creation of an incel community. I think he makes quite a persuasive argument. But anyway, let's move on, because we've seen this before, like men won't date woke women. It's like, okay, try finding a non-woke Generation Z woman. They've all been indoctrinated into wokeism. And of course, Lawrence Fox was like talking about this, and God's speed for it.
The dangerous rise.
But this Vicky Spratt, she was furious. She was furious, right? Not wanting to date woke women, far from being laughable, is actually one of the more insidious aspects of this.
You know what this reminds me of? remember when you read that thing about like this leftist woman who was like, I just really want to be choked and really
by a right wing,
in bed. And it's just like, I reckon she's got the same syndrome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not going for one of those beta soy boys.
I enjoyed dating right wingers, but now they won't date woke people.
Yeah, exactly. So she's not getting what she wants. Right. Spend an afternoon on any major dating app and you'll come across generally white men saying openly sexist and misogynist things. Yeah, stupid, sexy misogynist. They say, no psychos, or they hate big eyebrows in their bios. And by and large, they also tend to hold extremely right-wing views and see themselves as victims of liberal thinking. Yeah, okay, men are right-wing. Deal with it. They're not woke. They're not dating woke women.
Victims as well. Like we have government policies that discriminate against them for jobs.
And the irony of feminists going, oh, you see yourself as a victim. Oh, God, really? Are we really having that conversation? But anyway, this is, quote, apparently all very Donald Trump. It's like, good.
It's the chat. It's a stupid, sexy Nazi. Because that's the thing. If she didn't want it as well, why is she complaining?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. This is like a 3,000-word essay on how, they won't have sex with me.
But if she didn't want them to have sex with them, she wouldn't care. She'd be like, well,
exactly.
Thank God. They finally will stop messaging me instead.
Exactly. Now it's like, I can't believe I'm not getting it from those evil right-wingers. And so, like, this was all inspired by just this article I found on The Independent, right? And it is just, I just can't get over it, right? So let's first begin by looking at the woman, right? Effort made. Not just zero, negative. Right? This is a person who has gone out of her way to be unattractive.
Yeah.
Right?
She brushes her teeth.
Well,
it's about the nicest thing I can say there.
She brushes her teeth, right? She obviously doesn't get enough sleep. She's put no makeup on. She's obnoxious, and she's covering her hair. This is one of those things. Women play with their hair when they think, there's an attractive man. They start playing with their hair because they know that hair is an attractive thing that men are attracted to. Boom, cover it up. This is why this is why women are supposed to cover their hair.
In Islam,
right? It's about making yourself unattractive to the opposite sex, and she's done all of that, right? So just looking at her, she's gone out of her way to be unattractive, right? Okay, fine, right? We begin with Kira Brio, I think her name is, right? So she posted this video on TikTok, right? And she's complaining that men shouldn't expect a woman to split the bill on a date because this is the patriarchy. Remember, paying for the date is patriarchy, but also splitting the bill is patriarchy. Why are you thinking about this? Why are they thinking about this? This is deeply ideological thought. And of course, this got millions of views.
What a bigger turnoff as well. Like if you're dating, and someone starts telling you feminist theory, bye.
Exactly. Men won't date woke women. Why not? Because all you get is this crap, and I'm not surprised. Like, but that's the point, right? She should be thinking, right, okay, is he handsome or is he tall or does he earn a lot of money? Is he got all the characteristics I'm looking for in a man?
Is he a feminist?
Right? Is he funny? Do I like him? Do I get butterflies in my stomach when I'm around him? Instead, she's like, oh, you should be paying 50-50. Oh, no, that's oppression. I shouldn't be paying because, the wage gap, which is literally her argument. And it's just like, what are you talking about? You're meant to be dating someone. You're meant to be forming a human attachment to someone, not complaining about this crap. This is what I mean by totally ideologically corrupted, right? So she says, one of the most insidious and ridiculous effects of the patriarchy is literally women paying 50-50. Men going around being like, it's 2021, equal rights, right? You're going to pay 50-50, she continued. The fact that men expect 50-50 from women when women don't get 50% of anything. No, they get 80% of everything. What now? Literally 80% of consumer spending. Shut up, right? She further claimed that compared to men, women do not receive 50% of the money, safety, privilege, or space. And she's right. They get about 90 of it. Thankfully, we've got a live reaction from Bernie Sanders, if we can just play that.
The American people are tired of women.
Vote Bernie.
I agree with him completely. But returning to the article, I love that clip so much. But pay equal amounts, even though you don't have equal rights, right? Do you understand how ridiculous that is? Do you think you're getting a date? Do you think anyone's going on a date with you? You've done everything you can to make yourself a low-value woman anyway. And now you're like, right, now I'm going to whine about feminist theory on this date.
Look, she's going for a very specific market, clearly.
Clearly.
She's reduced herself to the level of male feminists. And will therefore, well, you know what happens.
And literally these male feminists are like, well, I think we should split it equally.
Oh,
because they're male feminists. if she was dating a sexy right winger,
It's like a dangerous snake, though.
yeah, it absolutely is. But if she was dating a sexy right winger with a MAGA chud with a MAGA cap on, he'd be like, "Yeah, I'll pay for that. Of course I will, little lady." And I'm sure that'd go down great. No. She gets to that, John, about her paying for it, right? Then she says it benefits men to say, "Oh yeah, I'm a feminist. I believe in women paying 50-50 on dinner dates." All ideological. Like that's what they're talking about. Not this is the kind of music I like. These are the films I like. This is the sport I play. No, ideology. That's all these. I mean, how old is she? 20, 21? Like blah, 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 ideology. You're not a human being. You're a talking point. You know, that's what this is. And she goes, it benefits men to say this, and that is the only time they believe in equality. Make his pockets hurt. Make his pockets hurt. I'm not paying for you.
That's someone you want to date.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone who hates you.
You've turned our first date into an adversarial contest. Why would I want to spend a second with you? Because that's what ideology does. Ideology is a striving for power. It's power over some random guy who is unfortunate enough to agree to go on a date with her. That's what she's looking for. Like, totally ideological. But it carries on, right? So, go on about equal rights, blah, blah, blah. And then you get, like, the comments. And they've included a load of comments that people have posted on this TikTok video, 480,000 views. And, she's got, like, loads of followers and stuff like this. And so, like, a ton of men only want 50-50 financially, but it's never 50-50 domestic duties or child rearing. Or even worse, equal rights, equal fights. Sorry, what's wrong with that? I'm on the Whoopi Goldberg train on this one. If you're going to punch a man, prepare to take a punch. Another person said, making less money than a man, working the same amount of hours, doing 90% of the housework, 50-50 is a scam. Do you believe that any of these women do 90% of any housework?
I reckon her room stinks.
Exactly. Just absolute fraud on here. But anyway, so it carries on. And she says just stuff like this. Like, and I love this so much, right? So she spoke to BuzzFeed and alleged that women paying for half the date is an example of patriarchy because then men don't have to court. Do you know what courting a woman is? Of course you don't.
But also just, hang on. Does she think that if you pay half, he's basically brought you for the night, like a prostitute?
Well, it's about him not fulfilling the romantic frame of the relationship.
I understand,
right? Because
that's her complaint. Is like, oh, then he doesn't have to romance me.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Also, if a dude turned up and just offered you $100, love, do you think you just have to have sex with it?
I mean, I'll check her OnlyFans.
Well, I mean, apparently yes. Yeah, I suppose. That's what she's saying there. I mean, that's the complaint.
Yeah. But this is the point. It's ruining
mindset.
It's ruining the idea of creating a sort of magical romance around the person. But the thing is, does she do anything that implies that she wants any kind of magical romance? No.
She looks worse with makeup on.
No, she doesn't. She looks perfectly normal and a normally attractive girl with makeup on and her hair down.
I don't agree.
Okay, well, she looks normal. She looks fine, right? There's nothing wrong with the way she looks. She can get a boyfriend. Right, but this thing, she says, the whole purpose of courting in the first place was because someone decided that women weren't allowed to have jobs. How is this an example of patriarchy if we've got rid of that? Right, this is an example of patriarchy because men don't have to court if they pay 50-50. And so the whole purpose of courting was someone decided that women weren't allowed to have jobs. I mean, that's not true.
No, courting is about making them like you.
But also, no one ever prevented women from getting jobs. No. This is not true. It was a privilege that women didn't have to work. And you're not in that world anymore, so get used to getting to work. But she continues, the effects that, and again, like total ideological disconnect from reality. None of this is true, right? They weren't allowed to have jobs or credit cards or own land. As if women were just like Rousseauian wandering around in the wilderness. Like, what were they doing? They were married at 20. They had kids at 22. Like my parents did, in fact. Only a couple of generations ago. This was normal. Like women like, you're not allowed to own land. It's like, what are you talking about? They own a house. They're married. She controls the domestic finances.
Reminded of those Wojak memes where it's like, my parents are 20 odd and they're buying a house and me, and it's some woman with like, I've got a Starbucks.
This feminist is like, women couldn't own land. What are you saying? Just there's some random woman in a castle somewhere going, if only I could buy this land I live on. What are you talking about, right? So she goes, the effects of that are trickling down today. Imagine. There's still a wage gap, so it makes no sense for a woman to pay 50-50 before they're paid 50-50. And according to Pew Research, the wage gap has remained practically the same over 15 years. And in 100 years, it'll still be the same because women work fewer hours than men. End of story.
It's an earnings gap, not a wage gap.
Yes, it is. And so she says, women don't make as much as men, so generally, if men are the ones inviting you out on the date, I think they should pay for the bill. Or why should they pay for all the bill? If they're making 60 and you're making 40, well, then that's how you split the bill, surely.
No.
You've turned this.
Then I have to pay some money.
You've turned this into a mere money transaction, as Marx would say. So, okay, what now? Why should I not just calculate your value?
Well, how much is her OnlyFans?
Well, that's the point. This is now where we get to the Marxian theory of women's value that can be objectively calculated.
I mean, this is the old joke. I've done it on you before, which is like, you say some ugly celebrity, would you have sex with her for £10? And you go, no. Would you have sex with her with £1 million? Maybe. I was just like, okay, so we've agreed what you are, but we're just negotiating.
Now we've got exactly. And she says, well, women don't make much money as men, so generally, if men are the ones inviting you on a date, they should pay for the bill. If a woman makes more money than her partner, then she obviously should be contributing to the rent. It's like, really? Contributing to the rent. If she's making more money, by this logic, how is it that she shouldn't be paying for all of it? But secondly, I like the way that the feminists have gone right the way round the circle and have now arrived back at the traditional position of the man should pay for things. Like they began with, oh no, men paying for things is patriarchy. Oh, men not paying for things is patriarchy.
I should have the privilege as a woman to stay at home and have kids.
That's exactly it.
Because I'm a woman.
Yeah, I as a woman should have the privilege of not paying for things. Like, really, welcome to traditionalism.
You know, why am I mad about this? This is good.
Exactly. It's so ideological. And this is all the babbling that's coming out of her mouth about this. And it's like, God, I would never even think about like taking a person like this on a date. And I'm not surprised that young men are just like, no.
I know,
Sigma grind set, you know.
Like SJW lady is just like, I want to stay at home and be a trad wife.
Well, that's what she got to. And so, you know, this is the point, isn't it? But again, why is anyone taking any kind of instruction from this single childless, ideologically possessed lunatic? She doesn't know anything about the world. She doesn't know anything about dating, but what she does have is an ideology. So be silent. That might get you a date.
If you enjoyed that section from the podcast, The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to subscribe to get access to all the premium content on the site, such as an oldie but a goldie, so I'd mention it again, which is the interview with Miles Routledge, otherwise known as Miles of Kabul, or That Mad Lad. And if you'd like to find out what else I'm up to, you can always follow me on Getter at Callum on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.